Welcome to the Carrot Bars International Wealth Building Plan. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity centered around a very simple concept. Save your money in gold and get paid to share with others how they can do the same. Carrot Bars represents not only a plan to build wealth, but also to protect and preserve your purchasing power. Experts like author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki, and famed financial analyst Mr. Mike Maloney recommend exchanging cash for gold in small bars. Most people would like to add gold to their financial portfolio, but it's too expensive in large gold bars. But that's all about to change. Here is an overview of how to generate a potential income of $15,000 to $136,000 or more per month. Carrot Bars International was founded by Mr. Harold Seiss in 2011 and is headquartered in Stuttgart, Germany. Carrot Bars is an e-commerce company with an affiliate program currently doing business in over 115 countries debt-free. Its goal is to get gold to the masses using word-of-mouth marketing. Why gold? Gold is proven to be a stable store of value for over 6,000 years. In just the last 100 years, nothing has outpaced gold. If you had $100,000 in gold in 1932, today it would be worth over $4.5 million. If you had $100,000 in cash in 1932, today it would only be worth $2,000. Gold preserves buying power. 40 years ago, 1 gram of gold would buy you 5 loaves of bread. In comparison, 40 years ago, $1 would buy 4 loaves of bread. Today, that same gram of gold will buy you 20 loaves of bread, but that dollar won't even buy you a half a loaf of bread, just a few slices. Further proof that gold, not paper, is a true store of wealth. Our product is a unique category creator. It's called the Carrot Bar. Small in size, this gold is 999.9% currency-grade gold in 1, 2.5, and 5 gram weights. Carrot Bars are produced by a private London Bullion Market Association approved refinery and mint, exclusive just to Carrot Bars. In addition to the classic Carrot Bar, we also have a licensing agreement with the Vatican to produce a limited 100,000 collector cards featuring their beloved Pope John Paul II, as well as many other collector cards. These are sure to increase in value even above the gold itself over time. What could be better than saving your money in pure gold, showing others how to do the same, and getting paid for it? With Carrot Bars, you can do just that. We're paid 7 different ways through our affiliate marketing program. Enrollment is absolutely free. There are no monthly website fees, setup fees, or renewal fees, so there is no logical reason not to get started today. There are 2 areas that I would like to focus on in this presentation, which work together to build massive wealth for you and your family. It's called the Dual System Pay Plan. First, there's what we call the Unilevel. This position is totally free, and you earn residual monthly income for everyone you personally sponsor who acquires gold and other products from the e-commerce site. Not only do you earn commission from your personally sponsored affiliates, but generously through infinite referrals from your direct line of sponsorship. More can be found about this at www.carrotbarspayplan.info. Next is the optional dual team. In this pay plan, personally sponsored members are placed on your left and right teams by you or spillover by your upline sponsor. You get paid weekly, and there are no limits to how much you can earn through the dual team. There are only 3 key points to building wealth with the dual team. First, choose a marketing package: bronze, silver, gold, or even VIP. Second, which is a well-known wealth building principle, pay yourself first by saving your money in gold. Third, refer at least 2 business-minded individuals to do the same thing. The dual team plan is based on units. Everything in the Carrot Bars e-commerce site has a unit value associated with it. As your teams grow, you will begin to accumulate these units. Whenever you accumulate 25 units on one side and 50 units on the other, you receive a cycle bonus. The marketing package you choose determines the amount of your direct commission for your personal sponsorships, as well as your cycle bonuses. As a VIP, you receive 20% direct commission for personally sponsored affiliates and an €80 cycle bonus. As a gold member, you receive a 15% direct commission and a €60 cycle bonus. As a silver member, you receive a 10% direct commission and a 40 euro cycle bonus. And as a bronze member, you receive a 5% direct commission and a 10 euro cycle bonus. The success is in the system, which means save yourself stress, time, effort, and money. Now here's the system. Enroll for free. Choose a package. Upload your KYC documents. Then save your money in gold and find at least 2 like-minded individuals to do the same. That's the system. As this system is duplicated, you receive cycle bonuses to infinity. There are no levels like a multi-level program. That's why it's called a dual team. Just a left and right team helping you accumulate units and duplicate the system. Each time the system duplicates, your team grows exponentially, increasing your income week by week by week. Now here's a mathematical example of the income potential. The projections seen here are not a guarantee of income, but rather a hypothetical example of how the income is generated. As a bronze, if you introduced at least 2 individuals who were only bronze members, you would earn $13 in direct commission. In the second and third duplication, you will notice that there are no commissions. This is because there are not enough units accumulated to generate a cycle bonus. As your team duplicates the system 6 times, you would earn more than the cost of your gold exchange of 1 gram. Once the system has duplicated 11 times, you can upgrade straight to VIP. After your system duplicates just 12 times, you would be earning $4,485 per week, and it continues to grow to infinity. As a silver member, only sponsoring 2 bronze members, you would earn $27 in direct commissions, and as your team duplicates the system just 4 times, you would accumulate enough units to cover your gold exchange and have cash left over. As the system duplicates 9 times, you would be able to upgrade to VIP, and by the 12th duplication, you would be earning $17,250 per week, and it continues to grow to infinity. As a gold member sponsoring only 2 bronze members, you would earn $40 in direct commission, and by the 4th duplication of the system, you would have earned enough to cover your gold exchange and have a lot of money left over. By the 7th duplication, you will have earned enough to upgrade to VIP, and by the 12th duplication, you would be earning $25,875 per week, and that continues to grow also to infinity. And finally, as a VIP sponsoring only 2 bronze members, you would earn $53 in direct commissions. By the 4th duplication, you will have earned enough to cover your gold exchange. So the gold is free, and by the 12th duplication, you would be earning $34,500 per week, and that continues growing and duplicating to infinity. The potential is staggering. Each Friday, your bonuses and commissions are loaded onto your custom Carrot Bars prepaid MasterCard. It is a global prepaid debit card which can be used worldwide. It was recently voted MasterCard's Design of the Year in Europe. Carrot Bars also gives second-to-none incentives to its affiliates. As gold is accumulated within your entire team, you'll receive amazing incentives from a gold iPhone to a luxury villa built debt-free for you anywhere in the world. As with anything, training is key. So we have developed a training system utilizing conference calls, webinars, and team events. When you understand that you are in business for yourself but not by yourself, you'll have the confidence to build your business and achieve your financial goals. So join us. Get back with the person who thought enough of you to share the plan with you, and let's get you started on your journey to becoming a gold millionaire.
There's a chart I saw recently that I can't get out of my head. A Harvard business professor and economist asked more than 5,000 Americans how they thought wealth was distributed in the United States. This is what they said they thought it was. Dividing the country into 5 rough groups of the top, bottom, and middle 3 20% groups, they asked people how they thought the wealth in this country was divided. Then he asked them what they thought was the ideal distribution, and 92%, that's at least 9 out of 10 of them, said it should be more like this. In other words, more equitable than they think it is. Now that fact is telling, admittedly, the notion that most Americans know that the system is already skewed unfairly. But what's most interesting to me is the reality compared to our perception. The ideal is as far removed from our perception of reality as the actual distribution is from what we think exists in this country. So ignore the ideal for a moment. Here's what we think it is again. And here is the actual distribution. Shockingly skewed. Not only do the bottom 20% and the next 20%, the bottom 40% of Americans barely have any of the wealth. I mean, it's hard to even see them on the chart. But the top 1% has more of the country's wealth than 9 out of 10 Americans believe the entire top 20% should have. Mind-blowing. But let's look at it another way, because I find this chart kind of difficult to wrap my head around. Instead, let's reduce the 311 million Americans to just a representative 100 people. Make it simple. Here they are: teachers, coaches, firefighters, construction workers, engineers, doctors, lawyers, some investment bankers, a CEO, maybe a celebrity or two. Now let's line them up according to their wealth. Poorest people on the left, wealthiest on the right, just a steady row of folks based on their net worth. We'll color code them like we did before based on which 20% quintile they fall into. Now let's reduce the total wealth of the United States, which was roughly $54 trillion in 2009, to this symbolic pile of cash. And let's distribute it among our 100 Americans. Well, here's socialism, all the wealth of the country distributed equally. We all know that won't work. We need to encourage people to work and work hard to achieve that good old American dream and keep our country moving forward. So, here's that ideal we asked everyone about. Something like this curve. This isn't too bad. We've got some incentive, as the wealthiest folks are now about 10 to 20 times better off than the poorest Americans. But hey, even the poor folks aren't actually poor, since the poverty line has stayed almost entirely off the chart. We have a super healthy middle class with a smooth transition into wealth. And yes, Republicans and Democrats alike chose this curve. 9 out of 10 people, 92%, said this was a nice, ideal distribution of America's wealth. But let's move on. This is what people think America's wealth distribution actually looks like. Not as equitable, clearly, but for me, even this still looks pretty great. Yes, the poorest 20 to 30% are starting to suffer quite a lot compared to the ideal, and the middle class is certainly struggling more than they were, while the rich and wealthy are making roughly 100 times that of the poorest Americans, and about 10 times that of the still healthy middle class. Sadly, this isn't even close to the reality. Here is the actual distribution of wealth in America. The poorest Americans don't even register. They're down to pocket change, and the middle class is barely distinguishable from the poor. In fact, even the rich between the top 10 and 20 percentile are worse off. Only the top 10% are better off. And how much better off? So much better off that the top 2 to 5% are actually off the chart at this scale. And the top 1%, this guy, well, his stack of money stretches 10 times higher than we can show. Here's his stack of cash, restacked, all by itself. This is the top 1% we've been hearing so much about. So much green in his pockets that I have to give him a whole new column of his own, because he won't fit on my chart. 1% of America has 40% of all the nation's wealth. The bottom 80%, 8 out of every 10 people, or 80 out of these 100, only has 7% between them. And this has only gotten worse in the last 20 to 30 years. While the richest 1% take home almost a quarter of the national income today, in 1976, they took home only 9%, meaning their share of income has nearly tripled in the last 30 years. The top 1% own half the country's stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. The bottom 50% of Americans own only 0.5% of these investments, which means they aren't investing. They're just scraping by. I'm sure many of these wealthy people have worked very hard for their money, but do you really believe that the CEO is working 380 times harder than his average employee? Not his lowest paid employee, not the janitor, but the average earner in his company. The average worker needs to work more than a month to earn what the CEO makes in 1 hour. We certainly don't have to go all the way to socialism to find something that is fair for hardworking Americans. We don't even have to achieve what most of us consider might be ideal. All we need to do is wake up and realize that the reality in this country is not at all what we think it is.